Alright guys, so here we have the foot. This is the bottom plate to it, and I know I haven't showed you guys me trimming on it or anything. Those will come, trust me, there are plenty of pieces to work on. I just needed something to keep my mind occupied. So what we have here is the heel piece, and you can kind of see this is just the pencil lines in here. I've sanded it up, gotten it all ready, and they just slip in. They're just like building blocks. I love this kit. Now the bottom plate actually insets. It's not supposed to sit flush, and you can see that on this bottom edge down here. So, but that being said, having it sitting down and not having it pinned allows this piece some play in there. Now, one of the things that I noticed when I was piecing together was this, which is the ankle joint. You'll see on that it's supposed to fit back here, of which it does beautifully, but you can see if you look in there toward the back, it's actually hitting on here, hits up against here. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim this down just a little bit so it sits just a little bit further down and it insets up. My next option, if I don't do that, is to either shave this down or just sand out a groove in here where it ends up sitting. And I may just end up going that route with it because it sits pretty snug, just like so. And if I shave that down anymore, it may not even matter. So anyway, so that's what I've got on there. Got this piece. Yes, they fit in pretty nice and snug. I had to clean out a little resin that was stuck in there. Not a big deal. The resin's nice and soft for trimming. Panel lines and everything look great. So these, I'm going to do the modification on this and then throw these parts in a purple power bath. So let me just piece together real quick so you can see. And then this is the upper, which is going to snap just like so. Now I've actually made myself a schedule, and I'm going to try and keep with it. Week 1 is going to be the legs. I may end up having to extend that to 2 weeks total for the feet and legs, because they are a majority of it, plus I'm doing wiring for the thrusters and stuff. So we'll see on that. 1 week for the chest and torso, 1 week for the arms, 1 week for the backpack, and then 1 week, it won't take that long, it'll only take like a day for the head. So anyway, so that's where we stand. I still need to work on this piece, but that's where we stand on that so far. And I will show you guys here real quick, just because I've got it. I need to find one that's okay. So I'm actually going to, now you can see right there, that's a pour mark. That's a pour mark. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our trimmers, and you don't want to cut flush. If you've done a Bandai kit, it's not that much different. It's not that much different than cutting the nubs on there, other than you won't have the white marks. But you want to trim off a majority of it. Let's see, I don't think I've ever done anything this close. There we go. Alright. And then what I end up doing This side I'm not that concerned with because that's going to sit up flush against something. So I actually brace this side against the plastic, and I want to put more pressure on this side